Justin Horn here. We want to get you up to date on some flooding that is now underway across parts of Kirk County. We want to make sure everyone up there is well aware of the situation because we've got a ton of heavy rain. It's been sitting there most of the overnight hours, and the Guadalupe River is starting to rise, and we know how that can go. So we want to make sure everyone is fully aware of the situation. So first off, flash flood warning is going to go until 7 a.m. this morning. So we have another 3 hours where we've got to watch river rises and creek rises. And you can see the really heavy stuff that is coming down here in Kirk County. So where you get these pink colors, that's just really good rainfall rates. Now, it is starting to subside some, but that doesn't mean that our concern is over with yet, because even if these storms pass, all that heavy rain is going to flow downstream. So folks in Kerrville, you actually have not got a ton of rain out of this, but the river is going to rise, and we think that it will reach moderate flood stage. So that's kind of the important takeaway here. And this highway here, 39, we have a lot of campgrounds along 39, a lot of places where people stay, RVs, that sort of thing. We want to make sure that you are well aware of the situation, because this is the South Fork of the Guadalupe River, and it is also taking on a ton of water. That's going to flow downstream to Ingram and then eventually down to Kerrville. So that's kind of the path of the Guadalupe River there. Let's pause this, and you can see that we are starting to see the backside of the heavy rain, which is good news. But if we look at the 24-hour rainfall totals, man, there was just a wild amount of rain here. So let's take some of the radar estimates. And now it's estimating 10 inches. Now, I don't know that we saw that much. The radar's kind of been, the data's been a little wonky this morning, but I think that's not a bad, probably not too far off. And there you go. It's jumping around for whatever reason, but 7 to 8 inches, I think is probably more correct here. And then 4 inches up towards the Hunt and Ingram area. So this is where we've received the bulk of the really heavy rain. And that's why, again, we're concerned with the Guadalupe River and what may happen downstream. So let me show you something real quickly. I'm going to go over here, and while we have the radar up, I'm going to switch it back here to radar. Let's see if we can go back to links 1 here. Bear with me. And let's see. Switch it back to radar. And while we're looking at the radar, and by the way, I need to mention that San Antonio is just seeing light rain at this point. So we're not getting, a ton of heavy rain here in San Antonio. This is mainly just a Kirk County issue. But I'm going to pull up the river gauge there at Hunt, and we can look at what it's looking like when it comes to rises in the water. Again, so this is a Hunt Ingram area is kind of where I would be most concerned. And I'm going to pull this. I'm just going to show you the website. Full disclosure here. So what we're looking at is the Guadalupe River at Hunt, and let's see. And right now, so right on the edge of your page, and it's kind of hard to see, but we went from roughly 7 feet, the river gauge, to now it is up over 18 feet and rising. So therein lies the issue. You're talking about a 10-foot rise in a very short amount of time. And that's why I have some concerns, especially when it comes to folks that are camping out right along the river. And oh, by the way, we have some showers and storms behind this that in theory could funnel into Kirk County. So that's where the concern lies. We have a little low sitting up here, and it's not really moving, it's drifting, and there is so much moisture in the atmosphere that it is just putting down a ton of rain. So again, it's going to be sort of river flooding that we're concerned with. It's not severe weather, it's not hail or gusty, well, there could be some gusty winds, but really it's not severe weather, it is flooding. That is issue number one. And again, let me reiterate the fact that this is not happening in San Antonio. This is in Kerr County, and we had some pretty heavy rain in Bandera County as well. So those are kind of the two areas that we are going to keep close watch on this morning. And if you're watching from Kerrville, again, your rainfall has not been all that heavy. You're talking about an inch maybe there. But that water is coming downstream, so we need to watch what happens in Kerrville too with the Guadalupe River. And I'm not saying it's going to be a major flood. Again, the forecast is for it to rise to moderate flood levels. But for those right along the river, maybe you're camping out, we got to be careful, as we know in the hill country how this can go. Again, Ingram, Hunt, that's where the heaviest of the rain has been. And let me zoom out for you some. San Antonio, light rain at this point, light rain. We may even see a few lightning strikes, but nothing that's been very heavy. We are starting to get some new development out towards Lakey. And this forecast, by the way, for today is going to be very tricky because this low is still going to be around. And I know you're saying, what about my 4th of July plans? You know, I'm going to the pool, I'm going to cook out. I will say there is a chance for some showers to continue here in San Antonio and maybe a thunderstorm or two. I think the odds are a little bit lower as we get later into today, but it is still something we need to watch for this low kind of just meandering around. Models don't handle this well, and that's just kind of the long and short of it. At any rate, I'm going to let the folks that are watching us here on TV go and get back to regularly scheduled programming. But again, flash flood warning for Kerr County until 7 a.m. this morning. Please be so very careful, especially if you're along the Guadalupe River this morning. We'll have more updates, of course, coming up at 5 o'clock on Good Morning San Antonio. And if you'd like to join us, we're going to stay on the stream for a while longer. You can do that on your KSAT weather app or the KSAT app as well. So again, if you're watching on TV, we're going to let you go. Please join us over on our streaming platforms. All right, good morning, everyone. Meteorologist Justin Horn here. I want to get back with you because we do have a pretty serious situation unfolding here in Kerr County. So I want this message to get out to those of you who are in Kerrville, Hunt, and Ingram. And here is the concern. We saw a lot of heavy rain overnight. Now it is starting to wind down a little bit, but the Guadalupe River is now reaching major flood stage near Hunt. That water is going to come downstream, and I know we have a lot of campers. We have a lot of camps in general along the South Fork of the Guadalupe River and the Guadalupe River itself, and this river is rising. So if you are near the banks of this river, you need to get to higher ground. They have issued a flash flood emergency for this situation, and that was just issued by the National Weather Service. And let me read you some of the issues. So a swath of 5 to 10 inches of rainfall has been estimated in the last 3 to 6 hours across south central Kerr County. 6.5 inches has been measured at Hunt. 7.85 inches has been measured just upstream of Hunt. This is a particularly dangerous situation, and a flash flood emergency is in effect through 7 a.m. Numerous low water crossings are likely flooded at the Guadalupe River. The Guadalupe River at Hunt has just reached flood stage. So that is where we sit. And I'm going to put this into motion for you so you can get an idea of how the rain is moving. And as I said, yes, the rain may start to wind down a little bit, but this does not mean the threat is over. In fact, it may get worse before it gets better. So this cluster of storms has really been the main culprit here. And this is the flash flood warning, but really, it's right along the river where I'm most concerned. So you have Highway 39 here. You see how it's kind of, let me pause this so it's not so busy. But you see how Highway 39, it kind of, weaves through Kerr County. That runs right along the South Fork of the Guadalupe River. And it is in this area where we have got a ton of rain. So that is now sitting in that tributary that feeds into the Guadalupe River. And the Guadalupe River at Hunt, which is not only taking on this water, but also water from the main branch of the Guadalupe River. And now we have reached major flood stage in Hunt. Downstream, Ingram, Kerrville. I want to make sure people there are aware. But there are campsites, there are people camping along this river. If you have family members that are or know someone that is, try to get a hold of them, because this is a particularly dangerous situation, as the Weather Service has said, because the water is going to rise very quickly. And once you reach major flood stage, a couple things happen. You start to inundate stuff not only right along the banks, but even a little further outward. And this can carry stuff away in a heartbeat. So if you are camping right along the river, the river can sneak up on you so quickly. So please be aware of this and have those alerts turned on your phone. I hope that they were, and you got this alert because again, it is a particularly dangerous situation. Let me switch over to 24-hour rainfall totals. And basically where you see this purple color, this is that bullseye of just, ridiculously heavy rain that we got not only in a short amount of time, but just a lot of it. Let's see if we can get this to work. So 7.9 inches, 8 inches. These are radar estimates, so they're not perfect, but based on what we're seeing around Hunt, it pretty much matches up. So 7 to 8 inches, you get that in a 3 to 4 hour time frame, absolutely going to cause flooding, especially in the hill country. We are in flash flood alley. And there is so much moisture in this atmosphere right now. It's a tropical air mass. You got moisture from top to bottom. And when that happens, these thunderstorms just go gangbusters and they just dump a ton of heavy rain. But this is where the issue lies. Again, flash flood warning, flash flood emergency, in fact, until 7 a.m. for Kerr County. What I'm going to do for you real quick is I want to show you, and I've been pulling this up, the river gauge at Hunt. And you're seeing this in real time, just as I am. And you can see what the numbers look like here. So we'll update this, refresh it, and you're looking at the web page, just like I am here. And let's see if we can get this pulled up. So right there is where we are. So it's nearly 22 feet. This is the gauge height, again, at Guadalupe River at Hunt. And where you see that pink line, and this is from USGS, by the way, where you see that pink line, that is moderate flood stage. So we are right there. And when you get into moderate flood stage, that's when you start to get into the inundation of structures along the river. So we rose up through moderate, so quickly within just a few hours. You can see the meteoric rise of this. So we went from roughly, 7 feet all the way up to 22 feet, just like that. And this is where you run into massive issues. And we've done this before. If you remember the Blanco River, now it was a bigger rise than this, but kind of the same idea. It was a holiday, people were caught off guard, and that's what we do not want this morning. Okay, so let's switch back to radar here. And oh, by the way, this is my other concern. We have rain behind this that could funnel in theory, and work its way up towards Kerr County. So that's another problem. I do want to mention San Antonio really quick. If you're watching us from San Antonio, we do not have issues here. Let me put your mind at ease about that. I know San Antonio's on edge too after what happened on June 12th. We do not have flooding concerns. In fact, it is just light rain for us. The roads are wet and slick, but we do not have any sort of flooding concerns here. This is all Kerr County, and that is going to be the main focus most of the morning. And let me let you know that Patty Santos is headed up there. We want to make sure that she's doing that very safely, but her and Santiago, photographer Santiago, are headed that way. They're going to give us some live reports, and she's going to be in close contact with me. We'll make sure that they stay away from the flooded roads, but are able to bring us some reports from up in Kerrville. So that will be brought to you around 5 o'clock this morning once we get into Good Morning San Antonio. Okay. San Antonio itself, light rain. You can see the light rain here, especially on the northwest side. This is not flooding rainfall. This is not a problem. It's just wet roads. And very quickly, too, for those of you concerned about your July 4th forecast, I get it. We may get some rain today, especially early in the day, and I can't actually rule out some showers and storms late this afternoon and this evening. The reason why, we have this upper level low, or this mid-level low, that's just kind of sitting here, and it doesn't want to move. And these things, the models just don't see these well at all. It can happen. And so if this sticks around, we may see continued rain chances today. I know that's probably not what you want to hear, but that is something just to keep in mind for your July 4th forecast. If you're going out or going to the pool, yeah, that could be a problem. But let's focus back in on this flash flood emergency. I'm going to pause it again. And yes, this goes until 7 a.m. this morning for central and southern Kerr County. And by the way, we also have some flash flood warnings up around Junction. Don't want to forget about those folks as well. But our main concern right now is the Guadalupe River. And I'm going to keep close tabs on that river gauge. That river gauge in Hunt is going to be very telling. Already is with it reaching moderate flood stage. But that's what we're going to watch, see if it rises even more, because we know what happens next, right? That water all goes downstream, Ingram, Kerrville. And even if you haven't got a lot of rain in Kerrville, guess what? The river's still going to rise, and it still may very well be a problem. So that I want to make sure people are well aware of. And this flash flood emergency, as I said, is going to go through 7 a.m. this morning. I'm going to look at Guadalupe River one more time. Okay, this is not good. So let me pull this back over for you. And it continues to rise, folks. That is concerning. So this is now the latest. You remember when we last talked just a couple minutes ago, it was at 22 feet. Now it is at nearly 25 feet. That puts it squarely in major flood stage. So what does it mean to be in major flood stage? So if you scroll down here, actually, let's see. You know what I want to do? Give me just a second. I'm going to pull up a different interpretation of this. So stick with me here. Yes, and that's okay. Yes. All right. Let's see. And if you're joining us right now on TV or on the stream, we're watching this flash flood emergency that is unfolding in Kerr County. And I'm trying to get some data here on the Guadalupe River at Hunt. And this is where we're growing increasingly concerned about the flooding. And yes, we have reached major flood stage. So this is, I think, a really good interpretation. This is from the Weather Service. And what this does for us is also gives us a forecast. So it thinks by 7 o'clock that we are still going to be in major flood stage, maybe up to 23 feet. Thereafter, it would start to fall. But again, this is going to go downstream towards Kerrville, and it would fall pretty quickly. But you see that rise. I mean, that is a massive rise. And you're talking 2 feet above major flood stage. And that's where you run into some issues. And that is the official forecast. So as I was saying, what does it mean to be in major flood stage? Well, look, this is what the Weather Service defines it as. Extensive inundation of structures and roads, significant evacuations of people, and/or transfer of property to higher elevations. That's where we are with the water level there at the Guadalupe River at Hunt. And let's see. According to the Weather Service, they just updated and said they are now monitoring northern Kerr County and southwestern Gillespie County as some of that rain is starting to shift north. We'll also be tracking these water gauges, rain gauges, or river gauges, I should say, as the ones around Kerrville, as this water again kind of moves further downstream. All right. Kind of to recap here, if you're just joining us early on July 4th, a lot of people sleeping in, I know. But the concern this morning, Kerr County, flash flood emergency through 7 a.m. We've seen up to 6 to maybe even 7 inches of rain this morning over this area here. And that is where the Guadalupe River has reached major flood stage right around, let's see if we can get this to work. And it's not working for me. Right around the Hunt area. And that's where the river gauge is letting us know that it has reached major flood stage. And I'm going to minimize this and see if we can get this to work. Disconnect and connect. And by the way, we're also streaming on our apps, on the KSAT weather app and on the KSAT app as well. But I do want to be on TV as well for folks that are just happen to be watching up here in Kerr County. So the rain, yes, is shifting north. That's good. The heavy rain's starting to come to an end, but don't let your guard down because the river flooding is still very much an issue, and we've got more rain potentially moving in. Okay, and then further south in San Antonio, it's just light rain right now. Roads are slick. We're going to continue to see more rain likely, just light rain throughout the morning. We don't have a morning commute this morning, and it's a holiday. But just know if you're going to be out and about, roads are going to be slick. But this is our concern. So for folks on the TV side of things, we're going to let you go. Do know you can tune in on the KSAT weather app, the KSAT app. I'm going to stick around a little longer. And then, of course, we will be live on air at 5 o'clock with Good Morning San Antonio. I'll send you back to programming for now.